Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Shannon Beador hits rock bottom after facelift loan lawsuit. Things have been pretty rocky for Shannon Beador from Real Housewives of Orange County lately. In fact, according to her, she recently just hit rock bottom. Her ex-boyfriend, John Jansen, is suing her for money he allegedly loaned her when she wanted to get a facelift. Their breakup obviously wasn't amicable, and now Shannon feels worse than ever about this entire ordeal. Here's what she's openly said about the drama. Shannon has been speaking candidly about issues she's facing with John in episodes of Real Housewives of Orange County. Along with the relationship crumbling, he's now coming after the money he claims he loaned her for a costly cosmetic procedure. In the episode, Shannon spoke to her daughter Adeline about it, saying, "This John-threatening lawsuit thing has friggin' spiraled. I offered to pay him all the money he wanted, but he wouldn't sign a settlement agreement where he wouldn't say bad things about me." Adeline responded by saying, "That's weird and gross." While speaking directly to the cameras, Shannon revealed that she believes John had plans to blackmail her. She said, "I feel as though I've hit rock bottom. And it seems like John wants to get me down there further, and I don't think I can get any lower." Why did John and Shannon break up in the first place? John spoke about the failed relationship on an episode of The Reality with the King podcast back in July. He said, "I want to say that my relationship with Shannon was real. She has a wonderful side to her. But I think people out there just assume John was the problem in the relationship. And I would just challenge people to think about what it might be like to be with Shannon." The first time Shannon and John broke up was at the end of 2022. They reconciled but then split again in September 2023. He has since moved on with a woman named Alexis Bellino. According to People, Shannon is unbothered by the breakup and more so concerned about the fact that she's being sued. She told the outlet, "I do not miss the relationship at all, and as I'm able to look back and see so many parts of it, I'm grateful that it did end." Social media users have been weighing in with their thoughts on the entire lawsuit. One Reddit thread is full of opinions. "He's such a C, and I don't even like Shannon. Unemployed bum looking for an easy payday. I also think if he had proof, he'd have shown his cards by now. So he gifted her a facelift with the money he saved from mooching off of her for everything else, then traded her in for Alexis." Shannon Beador had always prided herself on her resilience. From her tumultuous divorce to navigating the ups and downs of friendships on the Real Housewives of Orange County, she had faced her fair share of challenges. But this was different. This was personal. It had started with a look in the mirror. Shannon had always been open about her struggles with aging. The pressures of being in the spotlight made every wrinkle, every sagging inch of skin, feel like a glaring flaw. So, when she had the opportunity to undergo a facelift, she thought it was the answer to feeling like her old self again, confident, vibrant, youthful. But the cost, as it turned out, was far more than just the thousands she shelled out for the procedure. A few months post-surgery, Shannon's recovery was slow but steady. She had begun to embrace the results of her facelift, even feeling a little more at ease in her skin. But as her reflections started to match the image she had of herself, her financial situation was spiraling. Like many in Orange County's high society, Shannon had gotten used to a certain lifestyle, designer clothes, lavish dinners, and the best skincare money could buy. When the bill for the facelift came, she had resorted to what had always felt like an easy fix, a loan. At first, the decision seemed logical. Why not spread out the payments for the procedure that had given her back her confidence? But when she found herself juggling multiple debts on top of the high cost of living in the OC, the reality hit hard. The loan quickly became more of a burden than she had anticipated, snowballing into financial chaos. The moment of reckoning came when Shannon received the legal notice. She had been sued for failing to meet the terms of her facelift loan. The lawsuit claimed that Shannon had fallen behind on her payments, and the lender was coming after her. It wasn't just a question of money now, it was about her reputation. The public, always watching, would see her at her most vulnerable. Headlines splashed across tabloids. Shannon Beador hits rock bottom in Facelift loan lawsuit. Her name was being dragged through the mud, and the woman who had built a brand on her candidness and resilience was left scrambling for damage control. In the days that followed, Shannon retreated. She rarely left her home, avoiding the prying eyes of paparazzi who camped outside, hoping to snap a picture of her looking disheveled and defeated. Calls from her RHOC co-stars went unanswered, even from her closest confidants. For once, the drama wasn't unfolding in front of the cameras. It was happening behind the scenes, and Shannon didn't know how to fix it. Sitting in her living room one afternoon, Shannon stared at the stack of legal documents in front of her. The words blurred together, but their meaning was clear. She was in deep, and there was no easy way out. The weight of it all felt suffocating. How had she gotten here? The loan lawsuit was just the latest in a string of misfortunes. Her businesses had taken a hit, her personal relationships were strained, and the pressure of maintaining her public image felt like an impossible task. The facelift, which was supposed to be her ticket to feeling good again, now felt like the catalyst for her downward spiral. One evening, Shannon found herself pouring a glass of wine, seeking solace in the familiar buzz of alcohol. She had promised herself she wouldn't fall back into old habits, especially after her well-documented struggles with alcohol on the show. But as the liquid swirled in her glass, it felt like the only escape from the overwhelming stress that had become her reality. Just one glass, she told herself, but the empty bottle on the counter told a different story by the end of the night. The next morning, groggy and filled with regret, Shannon knew she couldn't keep hiding. She needed to face the situation head-on, even if it meant admitting that she had hit rock bottom. She wasn't just fighting a lawsuit, she was fighting to regain control of her life. Determined not to let the situation define her, Shannon began seeking help. She hired a financial advisor to help her navigate the mess her finances had become. Every spending habit, every loan, every debt was laid out bare in front of her. The reality was grim, but it was a start. The next step was facing the public. Shannon knew she couldn't avoid the media forever. She scheduled a sit-down interview, her nerves shot, but her resolve stronger than ever. She decided to tell her side of the story, not through carefully crafted PR statements, but by being brutally honest about her mistakes. "I'm not perfect," she said, her voice cracking slightly during the interview. "I made decisions that I regret, and I'm paying for them, literally, but I won't let this break me." The interview aired, and while the tabloids continued to sensationalize her downfall, there was an unexpected outpouring of support from fans. Many saw a reflection of their own struggles in Shannon's candidness. She wasn't the only one juggling debt, trying to maintain appearances while fighting a personal battle. The empathy was palpable, and for the first time in weeks, Shannon felt a glimmer of hope. As she worked to pay off the lawsuit, Shannon began focusing on her emotional and physical well-being. She reconnected with friends, opened up to her co-stars, and sought therapy to address the stress and anxiety that had built up over the years. The road ahead was long, but for the first time in a while, Shannon felt like she had a plan. In the end, the facelift that had once seemed like the solution to all her problems had become a symbol of something much deeper, a reminder that external fixes could never truly address internal struggles. But now, as she stood at the brink of rebuilding, Shannon knew that hitting rock bottom wasn't the end of her story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where she could finally face herself, flaws and all, and rise stronger than ever.